Hi everybody, it's Alex from Guiding Creatives. Welcome to the community for creatives, freelancers, and the multi-passionate. Today we're going to keep with the October theme of the scary and spooky sides of being a creative person with a creative career. And we're going to talk about the fears that may be keeping you back, whether that's keeping you back from scaling up, keeping you back from really promoting yourself, or keeping you back from even getting started. And ultimately, all of these keep you back from getting success. So let's dive in. The first fear that many creatives experience is the fear of being bad at something or the fear of not being perfect. It's kind of a in between because either you are actually pretty good, maybe even good on the first try, but perfectionism gets in your way, or you're like me and you really need to work on it to be good at it. And when you start and it's not great, you're a little bit embarrassed and you're like, I can't believe I even tried that. It's not for me. It's not meant for me. And you ditch it. Rationally, when we think about something, being really good at it right away takes the fun out of it. How can we look at this fear in the face? If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to learn, and you actually need to be excited about learning. This is a big thing. I know school's not for everybody. I know studying is not for everybody, and tests are not for everybody. But you can learn through hands-on experience. You can learn through playing around with things. How you learn is up to you. But being excited to practice, to learn, to hone your craft, that's what you need. You also need to accept that you can't be an expert without experience. And furthermore, if you're in an ever-evolving space like social media or anything like that, you probably can't ever be an expert. You have to always be bad at it. You have to always be learning. You know, if you're late for a trend, it might be a great video, but it's not performing well. Does that mean you're bad at it? No, it means you just need to keep evolving and learning. So don't be afraid to have to adapt and overcome. You want to take feedback seriously. If you are in the beginner stage, I know some people are not the nicest, and I know sometimes you don't want to pay attention to what people say, but if there's somebody out there giving you actual, sustainable, productive feedback that you can use it. Part of your learning experience is not just educating and trying, it's also about the delivery of it. If you're afraid of being bad at something and that stops you from really putting yourself out there, just make it clear that you're a beginner. Make it clear that this is new for you. Or keep it private, keep it anonymous. See what you can do to hide your identity until you feel confident enough to say, hey, this is me. I have to be honest though, keeping yourself anonymous until a certain point is a slippery slope, and I will talk about that in a future episode. The second biggest fear, which somebody asked me recently, is the fear of instability in your income, having unstable income. And one thing I need to tell you about this fear is it doesn't go away. You have to accept that it's not going to be stable. You have to accept that it's not going to be consistent. Even if it's consistent for 6 months, the 7th month can be completely different. Like I spoke about in my fluctuations video, sometimes it's inconsistent in your favor. Sometimes you have these really high points and sometimes you have these low points. But part of being a freelancer or a creative is accepting that, because if you are always chasing profit and you are chasing bigger, better numbers, it's going to burn you out. It's toxic hustle culture, and it's ingrained into everything that creatives try to stand up against. So don't give in to that feeling. It's okay to accept that it's going to be a little bit unstable, and then figure out how you can make it easier on you. You can work part-time, casual, or full-time in a more contract job. Now, this is a slippery slope as well. Look for a short contract. I did a few things. I worked part-time, I worked full-time, and now I do dog walking on the side. So pick and choose different things that you want to complement that can give you some consistency if you're really struggling, because it's easy to say just deal with the unstable income when you're not struggling. But when you're struggling and it's like, okay, I need to pay my bills, realistically, what I need to tell you to do is you need to find a source of stable income as you're getting started. But again, it's a slippery slope. Make sure you're not overcrowding yourself, you're not overwhelming yourself. Make sure you have time to work on your passion, or you'll always be working for somebody else instead of chasing your passions. Last episode, I spoke about how create different sources for people to find you. I'm not saying you have to post on every platform a different thing, but just repurpose everything, whether it be a selling platform, a website platform, a social media. Just make sure people can find you, because you have to understand, like, I can't think of you if I don't know who you are. Like, I don't know you're out there. Get in front of me. Stop me in my tracks. Make me say, hey, I need to work with them, or I need to buy from them, or I want to know what they're about. Get in front of people. And another thing is to figure out how you can monetize your passion in different ways. If your passion is you are a Procreate artist or like a digital artist and you like doing custom portraits, maybe people send you their pets and you do pet portraits. That's your passion. That's what you're trying to build. As that's building up, how can you make income while honing your skill? There's an easy solution. Offer freelance graphic design. Offer logo design, where you draw these digital portraits. They're not exactly pet portraits, but they're digital drawings. So you're honing your craft while expanding the ways you can monetize this skill. Or you could even go a different way, like me, and you can think about setting up social media in a way that you can do workshops, courses, tutorials, teach people. You just have to get a little bit creative, and sometimes it's not exactly what you want to be doing, but the hardest part about a creative career, and this is why this video is fears that hold you back, the hardest part is making it something you can commit to full time. Because if everybody could commit to their creativity full time, the world would be a much better place. I have so many ideas of things I want to do, but I don't have the time. And I can't wait for the day that I do have the time because it's going to be so awesome. But until then, I need to make sure I can pay my bills. So that means I don't get to create as much as I want. I have to do a little bit of other things. Listen, I'm never going to lead you astray or tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. But I'm also going to warn you that at some point you do have to take a chance on yourself. The third fear, which is the one I'm struggling with most, is the fear of being judged. One thing is if you're starting on social media, automatically create a new social channel. Don't invite all your friends and family. Go solo. Build a authentic audience from the start. This will help calm your nerves big time. Big time. Plus, your audience probably isn't your friends and family. Your audience is probably somebody else. So for the algorithm and analytics wise, it's better anyway. You can start anonymously, like we said before. Again, slippery slope. Move in silence, something I'm not good at. Maybe that's why I'm with a mic. But don't tell people what you're doing. People can't judge you, make fun of you, talk about you. They can't criticize you. They can't bring bad energy to you if they don't know what you're doing. So move in silence. But the biggest way to face this, which I've learned very recently, is face the rejection, face the criticism head on. Because you'll start to understand that the people who are criticizing you, the people who are rejecting your dreams, are not people that inspire you. They're not people that you want to be like. They're not people that you think that highly of. So when it comes to you, you're just kind of like, this is awkward and uncomfortable, but I don't really care. And then it's fuel to your fire. And then it makes it easier to go to your day-to-day because I can say, I faced it and actually wasn't that bad. It was actually kind of embarrassing for the other person. And then it just keeps empowering you. It's a little bit of a snowball effect. And the fourth and final fear we're going to talk about today is the fear of failing. This is a fear I think that's ingrained in everybody because failure is the scariest thing when chasing your dreams. Because if you go after something that you've always wanted and it doesn't work out, it's like, okay, now what? But I want you to think of failure like this, because this is what I've learned. If you're going to take anything from my channel, brand, podcast community, take this, what I'm about to say. You can't fail if you don't want to fail. You can hit a rock bottom in any situation. That's true. You can work really hard at something and realize that it's not actually what you wanted. I've been there. That's true. But failing is when you retreat back to the comfortable, when you retreat back to the dreaming phase. I refuse to work on something. I refuse to think of my dream plan and work on it and start getting to it. Failure is in your control. Whether you like that or not, and whether you believe me or not, it is. You can get fired. You can have your reputation tarnished. You can lose all your money. You can realize that you don't even like this dream or you're not good at it. You can figure all that out. But the only time you fail is if you actually let that stop you. So if all that happens and you sit and take it and you do nothing, you just let it get you down, that's when you fail. Maybe you do start a new path. Maybe you do go another direction. Maybe you do take a year off. Who knows? But you have to understand that you have more power over that than you think. And when you realize that, it's nothing to be scared of. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We're going to have 2 more spooky episodes for October, and if there's any topics you want me to bring up in November or December, this is the time to let me know in the comments or over at Instagram. Thank you so much, and stay creative. Bye.